What's up, guys? Thank you for checking out this video. Now, to all of my critical thinkers out there, the world feels like it kind of got flipped upside down on its head back in the beginning of 2020 because there's just been relentless propaganda campaigns at virtually every avenue possible in our lives trying to convince us that 2 plus 2 is 5. You know what I mean? That regardless of however long you've been alive, when 2 plus 2 used to equal 4, that now 2 plus 2 is 5. You know what I mean. Those of you that are with me, you know what I mean. That in the face of decades, in some cases, of clinical peer-reviewed studies that all found the same thing, we're not going to acknowledge what they found anymore. We're going to read a teleprompter and imply that the exact opposite is true. Now, I can't tell you why all this is happening, guys. But if you've been paying any attention at all whatsoever in the last year and a half, you must have at some point said, why is this happening? Because there's been so many constant contradictions of what truth is. And they've even tried to redefine and make truth subjective. I mean, it's a joke, guys. And they've done this in so many ways. It's like, where do we even start? And of course, it's YouTube. And I mean, ask yourself why I can't actually start saying real concrete things. I'm assuming that most of you guys watching this can at least pick a few out of thin air. You know, grab this, grab that, grab this. Why can't I talk about it? Because we're being algorithmically censored. And if I say the wrong thing, nobody sees this video and it'll take an hour longer to process. So I'm not going to say certain things, but I know most of you guys are intelligent enough to at least pick a few out because there's a lot of options. All right. What is going on? Is there a grand conspiracy? Do these things happen organically? I don't think so. I think truth tends to find its way organically to the top. And in order to suppress the truth, you have to do things like algorithmically censor people from saying things that are counter-narrative, even if they're true. And I don't know if you guys have been paying any attention, but they don't hide the fact that truthful sharing of information, of data, from a clinical setting even, they will suppress if it's counter-narrative. And when I say they, do you know who I'm talking about? Well, we're not meeting in person anymore to discuss things. Where do we meet? We meet in social media platforms like this, like Facebook, like Twitter. Yes, they have outright stated, even if things are true, if it's counter-narrative to the propaganda, the messaging they would like pushed, they censor it. How do we get that far? And how do we get all these private companies operating in agreement with each other, in sync with each other all at once? Because it is happening. That's not a conspiracy anymore. Remember when it used to be? It's no longer a conspiracy because they outright say it. So how did we get here? That's what we're going to address in this video. Now, I don't want to take credit for somebody else's work. I was watching a YouTube documentary that was translated. I don't know what the original language was, but they translated it into English. And it's one of those great documentaries that's objective, all right? Not subjective. Like they basically don't stray from what's verifiably true. It's basically like a compilation of things that are true and then authority figures, if you believe in authority, let's just be honest, like they are authority figures in the sense that like whether it's money or the position they hold do have some perceived power over you and me, normal people's lives. Okay. So yeah, that's the documentary. It's a very good one. I'm going to link to it in the description and I'm going to plug it at the end of this video presentation. But I did just want to make clear that some of the stuff I'm going to be sharing is from that documentary. And this is going to be short. I'm not going to make this a long video. I do recommend you check out the documentary, though. You can probably skip through the first part because I'm going to summarize that for you right now. So let's get started. So what I want to illustrate in this presentation, guys, is if there is a grand conspiracy, if there is a Wizard of Oz behind the curtain pulling the strings, how the heck is that possible on such a grand scale? How is it possible? Now, the first thing that y'all need, we can't go past this slide if we can't all understand the concept of top-down control structures. Top-down control structures. What does that mean to you when you hear those words? Hopefully we're in agreement here. Yes, it's when you have a pyramid structure, somebody at the top, or it could be a small group, whatever, and beneath them, the next level down that they hand off orders to, there's more people. And then those people take their directive and what do? Hit the layer beneath them. For instance, easy example, mainstream media. It only takes one person at the top that says, we're running with this story. You know what I mean? Think about how many billions of people are on Earth and how many things happen in a day. Yet they can cram in 5 news stories into 30 minutes. How do they decide what those 5 are? And how do they decide how to frame it? Have you guys ever been on this side of the camera? Because you get to decide how to frame something. Notice how I'm talking about this concept of a grand conspiracy. I'm a little bit critical of it. You know what I mean? Because I don't like when they're touching my life. Who are they in the first place? Most of these people are nameless. They're doing it from way behind the scenes, way up the ladder. Do you like that? That they can exert authority over your life? And we don't even know who they are? Yes, somebody's making these decisions. This is not happening organically because it's happening in the face of truth most of the time. All right? So in order for this to happen, guys, it takes top-down control structures. And do they exist? Name a company that doesn't have a top-down control structure built into it. It's literally the executive to manager, the executive, then to president, then to your directors, and then to your managers, and then to your employees, right? It exists in every corporate structure that we're familiar with. Now, what's the second half of it? One of you guys knows. Yes, it's money. It's money. If you control the money, like there was this quote from, I forget who, I should have written it down. I might have written it down. But it was one of like the central bankers probably around the time of the Federal Reserve's inception. And they had some smart ass quote that was like, I don't care about having the money. I'd rather control the money. And it was a banker. Now, when we give our money to the banks, do they say, I have all the money now, and they run away? No, they say, hey, that's your money. But they control the money. You know what I mean? So it's this concept of I'd rather control an army than say that I exert domain over their lives. You get what I'm saying? Like, because when you control it, you really do anyways. It's just kind of like a wink, wink euphemism. So you get what I'm saying there? Okay. Is money real? Are there people at the top, or let's just say centrally planning who gets money over the last year and a half? Yeah, all that happened. Did the top fraction of 1% get the majority of the helicopter wealth that was created during the pandemic? Yeah, all that happened. Yep. So, okay, the ground is set. Okay, so we're not crazy here, right? We didn't deviate from reality, right? Okay, now that we've done that, let's see, can a grand conspiracy possibly take place right now in our lives that where they can literally invert reality and try to make people believe it? Which, of course, we already see it's happening on a regular basis. So the whole point of me asking that is, well, I don't know. I'm talking to a webcam anyway, so I didn't really expect you guys to respond. But watch this, okay? Now that we've set the stage, watch this. These companies that we all see filing in line into the woke culture, even though get woke, go broke, you know what I mean? It's not representative of the majority of people. It's not even close. It might be a fraction of 1% of people that even like the woke culture in the first place. Even with all of the engineering that they're trying to do via mass media, okay? Yet all these big corporations file in line even though it's to their detriment. Why? Why is that? Let me show you something. If you go into the food industry, for instance, look at how few companies own all of these big brands that we're familiar with. Very few corporations actually own most of these big brands. It's been, literally since I was born, I'm 32 years old. I feel like the theme of life has been consolidation of power in the corporate level, consolidation of power. But what I really want to blow your minds with is that it's way worse than this behind the scenes. Because you would think all these in the middle, Mars, Nestle, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Unilever, Kraft Heinz, that they're all competitors, Kellogg's, right? That they don't like each other. They're competing. Nope, they're not competitors, guys. Behind the scenes, guess what? About 30% of, let's just start with Coca-Cola, is owned by 10 companies. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Bank of America, Geode Capital Management, Wellington Management Company, Northern Trust Corporation, Bank of New York Mellon, Franklin Resources, and JP Morgan Chase. 10 companies own about 30% of Coca-Cola. Guess what? Well, number one, these 3 institutions right here, Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, if you go to any beta name company, any huge company, you're going to see those 3 on virtually all of them. And you can do all of this analysis yourself very easily. Just go to Yahoo Finance, type in any company, and click the tab that says holders. And you hit a Control F search. You don't even need to. They're going to be right there in your face in the top 10. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. They're everywhere. Okay, so you think Coca-Cola and Pepsi are competitors. No, they're not. You can look. Vanguard, State Street, I don't know why I'm an idiot. I cut off the logos from some of these screenshots. But you're going to see the same companies own The same institutions own these companies or own massive shares and stakes in these companies. So if you wanted a grand conspiracy to take place where all of a sudden you wave the flag and it's like the wink wink nod, secret handshake, hey, all systems go, now's the time, we're inverting reality. What used to be true, 2 + 2 is not 4 anymore, it's 5 now. And all of these companies, all of a sudden, not these companies, but these companies file in line together to their own detriment. You're like, you and me, the normal people who are critical thinkers, right? We already lost the people that aren't critical thinkers. They've already clicked off this video. And so do me a favor, by the way, that you're still with me. Hit the like button at least. But it's like all of a sudden it makes sense because you only need to give the green light from about 3 institutions. These guys are everywhere, okay? Now, let's just breeze through the rest of this because I feel like I've talked so much. Let's go to technology. We were in food. Let's go to tech, okay? You got Twitter. You got Facebook that owns Instagram, WhatsApp. You've got Alphabet that owns Google, YouTube, Android. You've got Apple. You've got Microsoft that owns Office, Xbox, Bing, Windows, etc. Right? So already you've got a massive consolidation of power at the top. Massive, massive. Well, what happens if you go to Facebook? Oh, there it is. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. Twitter, Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, State Street. Apple, Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. Boom, there it is. And Berkshire Hathaway, number 3. You'll see them a lot too. Microsoft, you got Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, 1, 2, 3, just like that. By the way, Vanguard is just, so big at this point. And I'm guilty. You know what I mean? When I left my day job, I moved my 401k to Vanguard. And guess what? That's, they've got as much money as I've got in my 401k. They're controlling for me. So my money, but Vanguard's controlling the wealth. You see what I'm saying? It's this concept that the, people that run the world, they understand very well. Sony, boom, you got Vanguard there owning a ton of Sony. IBM, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, right there. Intel, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, 1, 2, 3. HP, you got Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, 2, 3, and 4 in the top 4, top institutional holdings. Let's go to a different industry. Let's check out travel. You got Skyscanner, Trip.com, Expedia, Air France, the airlines, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, Lufthansa. You got Boeing, Airbus. You got Booking.com, Groupon, Airbnb. Let's look at the top institutional holders. Oh, Berkshire Hathaway, Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. You've also got some other similar names. Geode Capital Management, JP Morgan Chase, Northern Trust, Morgan Stanley. Guys, it's the same institutions owning everything. The industry doesn't matter. The company name doesn't matter. You know what I mean? This is all a veil. It's a facade to keep you and I pretending like the world doesn't work this way. You know what I mean? Like if this stuff wasn't easily verifiable, then I would be a true conspiracy theorist guessing that behind the scenes, you've got this controlling interest with centralized consolidated power across all industry and across all companies. Nope. Coke and Pepsi are owned by the same people, guys. We just showed you. And it just so happens to be the same people that also own the airlines and pretty much everything else. Let's look at energy. Shell, same thing. BP, same thing. Exxon, same thing. Look at 1, 2, 3, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. Total, I don't know what that is, probably international. By the way, it doesn't have to be US companies. It's international. You know what I mean? You go public on the New York Stock Exchange, probably on other stock exchanges as well. I don't know all the full law outside of the NYSE, but it extends beyond just oil, guys. It extends into solar as well. Raw materials. So here are some of the largest mining companies by revenue. Go ahead, pause the video. Look them up. They're all publicly traded. I picked one. I think it was I looked at the Zijin Mining, number 6, before I recorded this. And Vanguard was all over it. So pick one. Go look it up for yourself. It's very easy. Again, just type in the company name, Yahoo Finance, and then click the holdings tab. You see for yourself. Agriculture. Cargill, ADM, Bayer, John Deere. Same thing, guys. Owned by the same companies, same institutions. Fashion. Yes, it extends into fashion because why not? You know what I mean? And this isn't this. I'm not trying to say that this is all like a negative thing. Well, I don't see how it's a positive, but I'm not saying that there's malicious intent behind it. You know what I mean? Like, there very well may be, because what's happening is happening, and I don't really understand how you get so many, basically, let's just say industries on board when things seem to be upside down a little bit backwards. But what I'm showing you here is that it's certainly possible. It's certainly possible. And it would not require getting all of these people on board. It would require the central controlling interests to give the green light and go and do whatever you're supposed to do after the green light's given. That's basically it. We're looking at fashion now. Go ahead, pick one of these companies up and see what happens when you look at the institutional holdings. It goes into tobacco, Imperial Tobacco, Philip Morris, British American, RJ Reynolds, Altria. It's everywhere, guys. Oh, pharma. I mean, did we even need to mention pharma? You already knew. Johnson & Johnson, BioNTech, AstraZeneca, Moderna, guys, Pfizer, GlaxoSmithKline, Merck, Monsanto, Abbott. We're jumping across industries and we're saying different company names. But remember, you click that institutional holdings tab, it's the same. Okay? That's the point. Car, plane, weapons, etc. Nothing changed. Okay? Commerce, eBay, Amazon, Alibaba, AliExpress, Rakuten. Same, guys. Finance, MasterCard, Visa, Western Union, PayPal, American Express. Guys, when you have trillions of dollars, like we've exceeded the mental capacity of 99% of the population's ability to even comprehend numbers that big, myself included. I don't understand numbers that big, okay? But what they've done is they've amassed multiple trillions that they control, and they are exerting their influence by spending it on controlling interests of companies across every industry, okay? That's the point of this video, guys. Additional insurance companies, banks, phone service providers, everywhere, guys. Everywhere. It touches every facet of our lives, every aspect of our lives. And who's going to stop them? What regulatory authority thinks that they are going to do something to stop them when they touch every aspect of our lives? And if you don't think influence can be purchased, what world do you live in? Influence can't be purchased. I'm laughing at the concept because I know somebody's thinking that like, oh no, there's somebody that would stop them. It's like, what world do you think that having literally infinite money, and when you have trillions, you have infinite money, that they couldn't overcome any obstacle thrown their way? I mean, get out of here, guys. So the top of the pyramid appears to be really Vanguard, probably followed by BlackRock, probably followed by State Street, and then the rest, you know, Morgan Stanley, Berkshire Hathaway, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, etc. Everything you see here in this pyramid. And guys, why haven't we heard? Nobody's questioning that this, I mean, again, you can go look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. If I faked every picture in this presentation, there's nothing stopping you from going to Google. It takes 10 seconds to verify. Pick a company. Pick one. Yahoo Finance institution tab or holding tab, and it'll show you the institutions. It takes 2 seconds. Okay? Why haven't we heard? Well, did you know that 90% of the media is owned by about 9 conglomerates? Yep. And the media, for whatever reason, to the average pleb, the average normal person out there, for some reason they think that like if they watch the media that they're informed. In reality, it's like you watch the media, you're uninformed. Period. You know what I mean? They're just propaganda outlets now. I don't want to go down another rant about the media. I'll save that for another day. Okay, but if 9 companies, 9 conglomerates own about 90% of the media, then all of a sudden you understand why you see the same messaging instantaneously being parroted across the board, even at like the small local news outlet levels. You know what I mean? Please watch the documentary that I'm going to link in the description, because you don't ever need to take me at my word. The documentary is very well put together, and they're not trying to jam ideas down your throat. They literally show it to you happening, right? So it's like, it's one thing to say, this may be happening. It's another to say, here, it is happening right now. Here's all the examples. You know what I mean? From reality, from things that already happened, right? You see the difference? Hopefully. All right, so here you go. It's called Monopoly Follow the Money. By the way, follow the money. Follow the money. So don't take me at my word while I try to convince you that 2 + 2 is 5. No. We're going to be intelligent, and we're going to just follow the money and see where it takes us. So check out the documentary, guys. It's like an hour. It's on YouTube. Hopefully it's still on YouTube. By the way, you can type in that exact name into YouTube, and it will not show up because it's being algorithmically suppressed because they don't want you to see it. I can't imagine why, by the way. So I will, of course, link to it in the description. I hope you have time to check it out. By the way, you can click the little gear icon down here on YouTube, and you can set the speed to like 2x. So if you don't have an hour, but you have 30 minutes, watch it in 2x speed. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate you, appreciate your time. Thank you for hearing me rant for, what has it been, 10, 15 minutes. It's nice to be able to get that off my chest. And that's basically it, guys. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.